Welcome to the Summer Food Service Program Frontline Staff Training. In this training, you will be provided with the information you will need to successfully be a site supervisor, a monitor, a meal preparation employee, vendor, or staff or volunteer. My name is Amanda Stansberry. I am administratively responsible for the sites you will be operating. I look forward to working closely with each of you to ensure that we have a great summer providing food and fun to children in our community. Our objectives of this program and training are goals of the program, site definition and eligibility, site information, meal pattern requirements, site operations and duties, record keeping, meal service requirements, and civil rights. The first goal of the Summer Food Service Program is to serve nutritious meals that meet the Summer Food Service Program meal pattern requirements and are appetizing to needy children. Meal pattern requirements help to ensure that needy children are receiving the nutrients they need. We will discuss these meal pattern requirements in detail later in the training. The second goal of the Summer Food Service Program is to benefit your existing program by providing free meals. Many of you already serve needy children in your community. What a wonderful way and advantage to also be able to provide them with a free meal by way of the Summer Food Service Program. Site definition. A site is defined as a approved physical location where free meals are served to needy children and consumed in a supervised setting. To further clarify, a child is considered any person 18 years old or younger. Exceptions can be made for mentally or physically disabled persons 19 years of age or older that are involved in a public or private school program for that disability. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you ever have a question about whether or not someone is eligible to receive a free meal. Also, supervised means that at least one trained Summer Food Service Program staff must be present during the entire meal service and that the children must be consuming the meal on the site under your supervision. Children cannot pick up a meal or leave your site location. This supervision can be conducted by any trained Summer Food Service staff, including a site supervisor, a monitor, other staff, or volunteer. The sites that we'll be operating this year are all of our school locations, as well as open sites with the King Creek Cottage area, Crosswalk, and Eddyville Community Center. So what's on the menu? As many of you will be serving lunch, we will be serving 1 8-ounce fluid serving of cow's milk, 2 or more servings of fruits and vegetables that must equate to 3/4 cup servings, 1 serving of bread or grain, and 2 ounces of meat or meat alternative components. We must serve milk with each breakfast, lunch, supper, and must be served with every first and second meal, which we will later get to in just a moment. Medical documentation. This is the medical documentation form provided by the state agency. If a child has a medical condition that prevents them from receiving all required components, such as a food allergy, at your site, submit this documentation to me so that I can keep it on file. Otherwise, it is the responsibility as a frontline staff to make sure that all your required meal components are present. This form is available in both English and in Spanish. All meal components are packaged, delivered, and served as a unit. Milk and juice may be separate as they are served. Children can place an unopened meal component that they do not want on the share table. Perishable items can be donated or thrown away at the end of the day. Shelf-stable items can be left on the share table. No food can be reserved as part of the reimbursable meal. Items taken from the share table do not count as a second meal. Some examples of these might be a pint of milk, or an unopened applesauce. When placing these items on the share table, they should be stored properly, meaning hot foods kept hot and cold foods kept cold. For example, items like milk should be kept in a bowl or container of ice. Recycling food items and leftovers. Recycling food items is not allowed. Serving an item as part of a reimbursable meal or a summer food service program meal that was previously served to a child is not consumed. You may not recycle meal components that have been put on the share table or any item that has not been served to a child or that has been served to a child. For example, if Susie got a complete meal yesterday on Monday, but she did not eat the fruit cup, the site supervisor cannot serve that fruit cup the next day as part of the summer food service program reimbursable meal. However, Susie can put that fruit cup on the share table for another child to take. Since this fruit cup is shelf stable, the fruit can remain on the share table. The best way to reduce leftovers is to adjust your meals daily. Order from your sponsor or prepare at your site only the number of meals that you need. Contact me to adjust or change your meals of meal delivered. Adjustments are required if you have excess of leftovers. Meal service requirements. Time restrictions for delivery. Meals may not be delivered greater than 1 hour before approved meal service, unless there's proper storage facilities on site. Which brings us to our next area, meal service requirements for food temperature and safety. Temperature danger zone is potentially hazardous food that is between 45 and 135 degrees. It is required that we take the temperatures of the meal at delivery or before service regardless of the meal type. However, we will be formatting after off of time, which is a 4-hour time frame. It is important to note that if we are greater than 4 hours and the food is out of this danger zone, the food is no longer manageable to eat or safe to eat. We must also maintain an accurate, complete delivery receipts. This is a summer food service delivery receipt. It must be completed by the central kitchen and at the site of the site supervisor. Here is a step-by-step breakdown for filling out the delivery receipts at the food service management company or the kitchen, central kitchen. First, complete the top portion of the delivery receipt. The name of the food service school or school food authority or central kitchen, the date and the site name, and circle the meal that is being delivered. Then we must write in the meal time, items, count, and the temperature, recorded time, and the sign and date each of these. As far as what the delivery site for the site staff, here's a step-by-step for filling out the bottom portion. Make sure that this SFA or the central kitchen has signed and the delivery receipt. If they have not filled out this delivery receipt properly, you should ask the SFA or the central kitchen representative before leaving the site or contact me immediately for assistance. Also, before the delivery person leaves your site, you should count, match the numbers of items that you should be delivering, check and record the time. If everything is correct, sign and date the delivery receipt. If the delivery receipt is not correct, do not sign the delivery receipt without clarifying and clearly writing on the receipt the problems you are seeing. Keep one copy with you and give one copy to the central kitchen representative, which is usually the delivery person. Never serve spoiled food or incomplete meals to the children, and immediately notify the sponsor if there's any problems. Here's a step-by-step breakdown for filling out the delivery receipt at your site. When the food arrives at your site, make sure the SFA or Central Kitchen has signed the delivery receipt. If they have not filled out the delivery receipt properly, you should ask the SFA or Central Kitchen representative before leaving the site or contact me immediately for assistance. Also, before the delivery person leaves your site, you should
Count the items delivered to make sure that it matches your delivery receipt and record that number. You should match the items to the delivery receipt to the items delivered. Record the time that the food was delivered. If everything is correct, sign and date the delivery receipt. Keep one copy to give to the SFA or Central Kitchen representative, which is usually the same person as the delivery. Never serve spoiled food or incomplete meals to the children. Immediately notify the sponsor if you have a problem.
This is an example of a completed delivery receipt. Please notice that all the information is filled out correctly. Inclement weather. In inclement weather, including severe thunderstorms, extreme heat, sites will be closed. We will post information on the Henderson County Public Schools nutrition website if such events should occur, and the means to take reasonable effort to inform children of the contingency plans when dealing with inclement weather. Adults may purchase a meal at $3.25. This is a site ordinance or site representative opinion. It is not going to be at every site location, including King Creek area. Meal service requirements. Complete meals must be served. A meal is that contains at least the minimum serving size of all meal components in regards to the meal type. If a child says, "No thank you, I do not like milk," when given a milk carton, he still must take it. He can put it on the share table. Meal service requirements. At the point of service, meal counts, the process by which the staff members and volunteer counts the meals when the child receives a complete meal. Most sites have the children form a line. The site staff or volunteer makes a tally mark on the daily meal count sheet each time a complete meal is given to a child. This is an example of what the meal count sheet form looks like. Please notice that all the items are completely filled out, and then as a child would come through, a tally mark was noted. Meal service requirements for serving second meals. Serve all first meals to children before serving a second meal. A second meal is a complete meal served to the eligible children after all eligible children have received their first meal. There is a noted spot here and on the second part of the meal count where this item is, our option is available for documenting. Serve and consume all meals at the approved site. Again, children must stay on site in your supervision during the meal consumption. Exceptions of this would be a fruit or vegetable, grain component are permitted to be taken off-site. For example, taking a small apple or cracker pack off-site after the child has finished the rest of his meal is acceptable. However, a child may not take a carton of milk off-site. Each child can only take a single component to eat later. Serve of all meals during the designated meal times. One of the most common program violations is meals served outside the approved time frame. It is important that we note that meal service time is between 12 and 2 o'clock. Now off to civil rights training. We will discuss the civil rights training. As the Summer Food Service Program, frontline staff must abide by the civil rights statutes, regulations, and policies. There are 6 protected classes. They are race, color, national origin, sex, age, and disability. This means that you must provide meals to eligible children at your approved site regardless of their race, color, national origin, sex, age, or disability. Discrimination. Discrimination is defined as an act of distinguishing one person or group from other persons.
It is mandatory that the "And Justice for All" posters be displayed in a prominent place where the SFSP business is conducted. If you need additional posters, contact me and I will request additional posters from the state agency. This poster contains the non-discriminational statement and instructions and how to fill out a complaint. If I or a representative from the state agency visit your site and this poster is not displayed prominently in a location, it will be cited for a program violation. This is the copy of the non-discrimination statement and the information necessary for filing a complaint. Notice that all of the 6 protected classes are listed in this statement.
Compliance areas. There are 9 total compliance areas that would need to be addressed. Every person has both an ethnicity and a race. Summer Food Service Program regulation requires participants' ethnic and racial data be collected as a way of visual identification or self-identification. Effective public notification. The purpose of public notification is to inform the public about our program availability, program rights and responsibilities, the policy of non-discrimination, and the procedure for filling out complaints. Complaint procedures. Contact me immediately if you are faced with a written or verbal complaint alleging discrimination on the basis of race, sex, color, national origin, sex, age, or disability. You may remember that these are the 6 protected classes. I'm required to report all written or verbal complaints to the state agency within a very specific time frame. I need your assistance to ensure that the complaints are handled properly in a timely manner. Compliance reviews. There are 3 types of reviews: the pre-approval, the pre-award compliance review, and the post-award compliance review. The main purpose of these reviews is to evaluate compliance of the civil rights laws, regulation, policies, instructions of guidance. Resolution of noncompliance. Compliance area number 5 is a resolution of noncompliance. Noncompliance is factual findings that civil rights requirements as provided by law, regulations, policy, instructions, or guidelines is not being adhered to. Compliance area number 6. Requirements for reasonable accommodations of persons with disabilities. This means that we must ensure that all persons with disabilities have accessibility to the program, easy access to the building where the meal service is provided, and effective communication with the staff. Requirements for language assistance. We are required to ensure that assistance will be provided and available if needed for potentially eligible summer food service program participants. Language assistance, for example, would improve program service for a LEP person. Individuals who do not speak English as their primary language and who have limited ability to read, speak, write, or understand English are persons with limited English proficiency. Conflict resolution. Conflict comes about with differences in needs, values, and motivations. Conflict is not a problem by itself. It is what we do with others that counts. Conflict Resolution's 12 Skills approach is available if warranted. Please contact me for this information. One of the best ways to ensure compliance with civil rights laws is to ensure that we treat everyone with the same and provide excellent customer service. You are constantly interacting with customers operating the summer food service program. Your customers are the children you serve, the family members you bring to your site location, your team members of training summer food service program staff, or anyone who needs information from you. The following relationship skills can help you ensure that superb customer service is provided to each of your sites. Professionalism, listening skills, availability, responsiveness, and reliability. To conclude, the civil rights portion of your training, all summer food service program staff and volunteers must abide to the civil rights statutes, regulations, and policies we have discussed. If you have additional questions regarding civil rights, contact the United States Government of Justice or state agency.
Sponsor and site agreement. In order for it to operate as a site in the summer food service program, a contractual agreement between the sponsor and the site must be reviewed and signed. Let's take a few minutes to summarize what this agreement says. In signing this document, the site's authorized signer agrees to attend all the trainer sessions and follow up in the training sessions are required throughout the summer. Serve meals to the needy children 18 of age and younger. Enforce on-site meal consumption by ensuring that no meals are moved from the site without prior approval from the sponsor representative. Provide adequate supervision during meal service with accurate point of service meal counts. If meals are not prepared on site, immediately notify the sponsor if meals are not delivered at the scheduled times. Immediately report to the sponsor any changes in the number of meals required to provide one meal to every eligible child in attendance. Remember, attendance will fluctuate throughout the summer and communication is key to success. We must conduct a criminal background screen and employ no one with a felony or misdemeanor or listed on a sex offender registry.
Inspect and take temperatures of meals and prepare and document the time. Immediately report need for changing meal service times. Immediately report problems in regard to meal service. Comply with Food Nutrition Service Instructions 1131. Maintain and submit records in a timely manner. Abide to all Summer Food Service Program regulations and special instructions. And be responsible for reimbursable disallowed meals. Before we conclude with today's training, it is important that you are prepared for potentially emergency situations during the Summer Food Service Program. If you are faced with an emergency situation, please contact me as my contact information is on the screen. I encourage you to complete the survey as an attached link to validate that you have attended today's training. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate what you do.